Shalom, Israel. It's Kazawan. And the name of this video is, Why Does Man Need a God? I'm doing this video because every now and again, I run into a person who claims there's no need for a God. They believe that people are perfectly capable of thriving in this world by themselves without the need of a higher power. Now, you hear this type of rhetoric a lot among the so-called conscious community, and others also who once believed in the Most High, but due to some tragic event in their life, they lost their faith. So the question is, why does man need a God? Now, let's start with a different question. Here it is. What's the difference between right and wrong? That's the question. Now let's go to 1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 9. This is Solomon talking to the Most High. It says, Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people. Watch this. That I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this, thy so great a people? So we see that Solomon believed that the Most High is the ultimate authority on deciding what is right and what is wrong. Therefore, he asked the Most High to give him an understanding heart so that he would make the right judgment calls. See, if right and wrong is based on man's opinion, then right and wrong changes depending on who you're talking to at the moment. And that's a faulty system because there's no consistency. There has to be a consistent, stabilized system that doesn't change person to person. Now, who is going to give us this system? This is Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 2. It says, All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes. See, man always thinks that he's right. It says, But Yahweh weigheth the spirits. So the Most High knows the true motive behind what everybody does. So man thinks he's right, but the Most High knows that man is swayed according to his circumstances. Here's another one. This is Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 12. It says, There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. See, we can't trust man to give us a stable system because man has proven himself to be untrustworthy. Also, something may appear to be right based on the information you have available at the time, but the ending result of your decision may lead to death. Why? Because man only has access to a limited amount of information. However, the Most High sees the whole picture, and therefore his information is reliable and trustworthy. See, the problem is people have turned away from the Most High's moral standard of living. This is Ezekiel 22 and 26. Now, this is the Most High talking. It says, Her priests, Israel's priests, it says, have violated my law and have profaned my holy things. Here it is. They have put no difference between the holy and profane. Neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean. And have hid their eyes from my Sabbaths, and I am profaned among them. See, we have violated the law, which is the moral code that the Most High gave us to live by. And as a result of violating that law, the lines have become blurry. So now there's no longer a clear difference between right and wrong. Just look at the world today. Everything that was once considered strange and evil is now considered normal and good. So man can't be the one to establish what is right and wrong because man is shaky and biased depending on the situation. And this is why man needs a God. See, the Most High, he's not going to compromise his position of morality for any reason. He can't be bought, he can't be seduced, and he can't be deceived. That's why we need a God. This is Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. It says, "Be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked." Watch this. "For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." The Most High judges every man according to his actions. Verse 8. "For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption." In other words, if you live a carnal life, you're going to get the results of a carnal life, which is death. It says, "But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting." If you live a spiritual life, you're going to receive the kingdom of heaven. It's that simple for the Most High. This is why the Most High gave us his law. Because again, the law is the moral standard of right and wrong. Now, the law by itself won't save you. However, what it does is it establishes the morality of the Most High within those who adhere to it. It gives you a guideline of how to live. So, what if somebody doesn't know the laws of the Most High? This is Romans 2 and 14. It says, "For when the Gentiles, which have not the law," watch this, "do by nature the things contained in the law, these, having not the law, are a law unto themselves." So Paul said it's possible to not know the laws of the Most High and still do what's right instinctively on a basic level. Verse 15, it says, "Which show the work of the law written in their hearts." Here it is. "Their conscience also bearing witness, and their thoughts the meanwhile accusing or else excusing one another." So even without the written law, some people are encoded with the basic morality of the Most High. In other words, they instinctively know what is right and wrong on a basic level because their conscience guides them. However, what's important to understand is that this does not apply to everybody in every area of life. That's not the case for everybody. This is 1 Timothy 4 and 1. It says, "Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith." Watch this. "Giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils." Verse 2. "Speaking lies in hypocrisy." Here it is. "Having their conscience seared with a hot iron." So these are people who don't have a conscience guided by the Most High. They don't have the basic morality of the Most High within themselves. Now, either it was there at one point and their lifestyle corrupted their conscience to the point that they don't discern things properly anymore, or it was never instilled within them by someone who knew the basic principles of right and wrong. For example, a child is not born knowing that it's wrong to take something that doesn't belong to him. He has to be taught not to steal by someone who knows better because they were taught not to steal. See, it's false to teach that everybody just instinctively knows right from wrong. That's not true. This is Proverbs 22 and 6. It says, "Train up a child in the way he should go." See, a child has to be taught what is right. It says, "And when he is old, he will not depart from it." So what are we supposed to teach our children while they're young and growing up to make sure they understand what's right and what's wrong? This is Psalms chapter 78 and verse 5. It says, "For he established a testimony in Jacob," watch this, "and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers," here it is, "that they should make them known to their children." So we're supposed to teach our children the laws of the Most High. Why? Verse 6, "that the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children." See, the laws of the Most High are supposed to be passed down to every generation. Why? Verse 7, "that they might set their hope in the Most High, and not forget the works of the Most High." Here it is, "but keep his commandments." Again, the law, statutes, and commandments establish the morality of the Most High within those who do them. If we don't teach them to our children, then they'll be influenced to live by the world's standards instead. For example, you have groups like the Conscious Community, and all they do is debate. Everything is a debate with them. But the reason they do that is because they have no set common standard. Everything is open to interpretation and based on their personal opinions. So the result of that is a "do whatever you believe is right" doctrine, which leads to confusion. Again, this is why man needs a God, because the Most High takes all the opinions of men and makes them null and void by giving us the final say on all matters. This is Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 21. It says, "There are many devices in a man's heart." In other words, man has many plans in his mind about what he wants to do. It says, "Nevertheless, the counsel of Yahweh, that shall stand." In other words, you can make all the plans you want to make, but at the end of the day, the Most High has the final say so. Whatever he says, that's what it is. See, again, the Most High gave us the law, which is a common moral standard, so that everything is not open to debate. Why? Because what's right to me may not be what's right to you. And if we don't have a common moral standard, there's no way to determine what is right and what is wrong. Therefore, anything and everything goes, because no one can tell somebody else what they're doing is wrong if they don't have the same standards. This is why man needs a God, because the Most High establishes a moral standard for men to live by that is not up for negotiation. His wisdom is beyond the wisdom of man, and therefore he doesn't need the biased opinion of men telling him what is right and what is wrong. He decides what is right and what is wrong. This is Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 26. It says, "He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool." When a person starts to believe that there is no God, that person is a fool. When a person thinks that their decision-making skills are better than the Most High's, that person is a fool. When a person trusts himself more than the Most High, that person is a fool. It says, "But whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered." Whoever walks in the spirit of the Most High will be delivered. This is Jeremiah 17 and 9. It says, "The heart," which is the mind, "is deceitful above all things." Watch this. "And desperately wicked. Who can know it?" You see, a mind that operates outside the morality of the Most High is a ticking time bomb. It's unpredictable. It's deceitful. It's liable to do anything. Why? Because there is no righteous standard preventing it from folly. A person's mind will convince them that they are right, even when they are completely wrong. So how do we make sure that we ourselves don't end up in this situation? This is Proverbs 3 and 5. It says, "Trust in Yahweh with all thine heart." Here it is. "And lean not unto thine own understanding." Remember, there's a way that seems right to a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Verse 6. "In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths." The Most High knows which direction you need to go. He doesn't have to figure it out. He already knows. Verse 7. "Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear Yahweh and depart from evil." See, this is how we stay on the right path. We acknowledge the Most High in everything that we do, and we depend on him to give us clear direction. Now, here's another question. Is it wrong to be a serial killer? If you say yes, why is it wrong? Well, it's wrong because the Most High said in his law, "Thou shalt not kill." Now, if the Most High didn't exist, would it still be wrong to be a serial killer? If you say yes, why is it still wrong? See, if you say man instinctively knows that it's wrong to kill, well, that's just not true, because some people are raised to be killers. They were never taught not to kill. The truth is, without the Most High establishing his law, it would not be wrong to be a killer. Because how can you tell a person he's wrong for killing someone if there's no common moral standard saying that killing is wrong? And what gives anybody the right to establish their opinion above another person's opinion? That's why man needs a God, because there has to be a set moral standard. This is Romans 7 and 7. It says, "What shall we say then? Is the law sin? God forbid." Watch this. "Nay, I had not known sin but by the law." So Paul said the law is what showed him what sin is. It says, "For I had not known lust, except the law has said, Thou shalt not covet." You see, Paul said, I would have never known what lust was unless the law pointed it out and showed me that it was wrong. Verse 8. "But sin, taken occasion by the commandment, wrought in me all manner of concupiscence." In other words, sin took the opportunity through the commandment to expose all kinds of wicked desires within me. Before that happened, I was doing all kinds of wickedness, and it all seemed okay to me in my mind. Why? It says, "For without the law, sin was dead." In other words, when I didn't know the law, I was unaware that I was sinning. Sin didn't exist in my mind. I was just living my life. Verse 9, it says, "For I was alive without the law once." In other words, I had a life when I was in sin. It says, "But when the commandment came, when I learned the law," it says, "sin revived and I died." In other words, the law exposed my old sinful life and killed it in the process. Why? Because I couldn't serve the Most High and still live the way I used to live. So my old nature had to die. Verse 10. "And the commandment, which was ordained to life, the law, the moral code of the Most High, which helps us live, it says, I found to be unto death. In other words, the law strengthened my spirit, but it killed my old nature. My old carnal mind died. Verse 11, for sin, taking occasion by the commandment, deceived me. The commandment exposed my wickedness. It showed me that I was not trustworthy on my own. It says, and by it slew me. Again, the commandments killed my sinful nature. It made me change how I was living. It made me put that old man to death and become a new man. Verse 12, wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good. You see what Paul just said in verse 12? The law is holy, and the commandment is holy, and just and good. That's not something you want to get rid of. You see, the Most High gave us his moral standard as a measuring stick to keep us within the perimeters of safety. We know when we're doing right and we know when we're doing wrong because we have a spiritual code of ethics to determine right from wrong. However, if we ignore his set of guidelines and attempt to govern ourselves, that opens the door for negotiation of what is right and wrong, which puts us right back in the same position of basing our decisions on our personal opinions. And that doesn't work because opinions vary from person to person. The only way to avoid this problem is to submit ourselves to a higher power. And that is why, again, man needs a God. This is Psalms chapter 14 and verse 1. It says, the fool have said in his heart, there is no God. You see, only a fool would make this claim. It says, they are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. Anybody that denies the existence of the Most High, that person is corrupt. If you take the Most High out of the equation, the only possible result is catastrophic destruction. Man left to himself will kill everything and everybody, including himself. Again, just look at the world today and the direction that it's going in. The reason why the world is headed for destruction is because of the neglecting of the Most High's word. So why does man need a God? Because that's the only hope we have. Only the supreme God, the Most High Yahweh, is able to establish righteousness in this world. That's why Romans 3 and 4 says, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar. Every man who conducts himself outside of the Most High's word is a liar. So that's why we need a God, because the Most High gives us the order and the understanding that we need to be righteous. Now, before I end this video, please be advised, all general comments are accepted. If you disagree with something that I say, you have that right. However, if you attack me on a personal level outside of the scriptures and resort to name calling and childish, unspiritual behavior, your comment will be erased and you will be blocked. Also, if you disagree with something that I teach, that's fine. You have the right to comment about it. But if you make a comment in disagreement and you don't use scriptures to support what you're saying, I won't block you, but your comment will be erased because I deal with scriptures, not opinions. Now, to the sincere Israelites who watch my videos, I'm not talking to y'all. I appreciate you guys for taking the time out to watch and listen. But I'm talking to these immature, non-spiritual trolls who always have something to say. But when you go to their page, 9 times out of 10, they don't have one single video teaching anything. but yet they want to come on my page and teach in the comment section. I'm not allowing that anymore. So, with that being said, as always, I hope that somebody got some understanding from this video. And with that, I say, Shalom.